second topic today is this. So we had the Kate Bishop and Jeremy Renner Hawkeye TV show a couple years ago.
That was just last year.
Christmas ago, is what I meant to say. And God, what a horrendous piece of shit of a show that thing was. And one of the things that we got coming out of that was Echo, right? Which, I could care less. It wasn't a bad character. I didn't hate it in the show. There was nothing that made me want an Echo show after that show either. So, that's neither here nor there. But we did get Echo introduced in that. And then right around, towards the end, we got word that we were going to get Echo series, right?
Well, it looked like it was moving full steam ahead.
For sure.
Already,
and then things really started moving and then casting happened. And
it's going to be about Kingpin.
And then it seemed as that it was slated for maybe right after or right before the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is when it would release.
After Secret Invasion.
For sure. But it looks like now we have this article here that I want to bring up from Screen Rant that says Marvel's Echo show to be significantly delayed, writers reveal. According to showrunner Marion Dyer, Marvel's Echo has been significantly delayed. Echo continues the story of Maya Lopez, portrayed by Alaka Cox, after the character's debut in Marvel Studios' Hawkeye TV series. Even though Echo's not a fan favorite comic book character, connected Marvel household names such as Daredevil, Kingpin have MCU fans looking out for the show's premiere. And I mean, if I ever watched it, it's going to be because of those things too, right? That's for sure. But let's read a little bit on. So here's an interview exchange that we have between Marion Dyer and Ben Blacker, the interviewer. He asked him, the podcast comes out in a week or two. When does Echo premiere? And Marion Dyer responds with, that will probably be a year from when this comes out. Okay, so that means a year from basically a week and a half from now. So that means what we thought we were going to get Echo in the middle of the summer or the beginning of the summer, we now will be getting it at the end of 2023 or maybe even the beginning of 2024. So this is a huge delay, and this has to make you ask all kinds of questions, right? Because we're going to have the Daredevil series start shooting soon. And how does that work if they have this stuff that they need for him to do with the Echo series? How will that tie in? This is very interesting to say the least, but almost a year's delay is a long time. And this is just something we're hearing from the showrunner out of nowhere. We haven't heard nothing from Feige or from anything from Marvel, from any big outlets or nothing. This is just dropped onto us in a small interview where the showrunner's like, oh yeah, that won't be happening for like a year from now. So this is pretty crazy. Lucas, you're hearing this information. I know you're obviously too not the most excited on an Echo series and wasn't obviously the biggest fan of the Hawkeye series either, but what are your thoughts on this Echo series getting delayed for another whole year?
I'm not that surprised. I mean, just recently, within the last couple of weeks, since Black Panther 2's release, there have been a lot of reports or whatever talk about how Marvel with Phase 5 and Phase 6, they're taking a step back, especially with Bob Iger back, and they're looking to do quality over quantity instead of, just mass, producing them like they'd been doing. So this does not surprise me. I mean, the timing of it or how it was delivered just kind of out of nowhere and it won't be till December. That's a little weird, but it doesn't surprise me that this is the first one that we're hearing about after hearing that is being significantly delayed. Because clearly they're still doing it. They're still having an interview with the showrunner. I mean, they've they're pretty far into production as far as I would understand.
Yeah, they
or
were
at least-
deep into production. That's why I
'cause
said
it's
this is
coming
going
out,
to be
it's
very
supposed
weird.
to be like early summer, right?
So then, again, how does this affect the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the timeline? I mean, it's going to be.
I will say
gonna change
that
a lot.
This doesn't make, honestly, if anything, this not only doesn't make me nervous, it kind of makes me a little like hopeful that they're like not just rushing it. Because like I wasn't that excited for it. I was excited for it because it's Marvel. You get Daredevil, Kingpin, all that, and Echo's a cool character, a cool side character, you know, with Daredevil and Kingpin and whatnot. But I would have watched the full show and will when it comes out. But I think what this shows is that they are like taking a second, and honestly, maybe part of the reason why they're pushing it back is because now that they are getting the wheels rolling on the Daredevil series, it's probably going to connect. It's got to, right? Because Daredevil's going to be in it a good amount at least, and Kingpin is going to be.
But you would think it already would have connected in a way.
Maybe plans changed.
Yeah,
right?
clearly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know what? I wasn't like itching for it. If I have to wait 6 months or whatever,
I'm going to
till
say
December,
there's a chance that we may not get this series.
I would say there's somewhat of a chance, but or at least not maybe in this form. Maybe it'll be a special presentation or something. I would imagine. I think we're going to get an Echo something regardless because. I mean, just think of the clamor that people are going to make.
It's part of the inclusion package. Yeah.
Sure, right.
So it's going to take a lot of backlash, but the fact of the matter is the only reason it was ever brought to the forefront was because of the whole inclusion thing.
Well, and there's nothing wrong with that as long as it's not forced and rushed into it.
But it was forced, though.
Right, but what I'm saying is by them delaying it for several months and, maybe taking a step back and being like, okay, let's make sure this entire show isn't just that one line in Moon
But you remember when Bo
Knight.
Burnham was talking about, girls with no arms? Who needs them? You know what I'm saying?
Right, but Daredevil is deaf too. Like,
at the end of the day, how many people are? Yeah, right. So you already have that representation in a way, right? So
yeah.
I think that as we get longer down the road and we have more stuff to explore, that maybe Feige and these other people go, maybe the Echo series wasn't the best idea.
Sure,
maybe let's have her have a decent role in Daredevil.
Right. Or even,
make that
do a special presentation of
or
sorts.
that, right. But still, that a whole series of it may not be.
Yeah.
No one's asking for that.
I mean, the only thing that I'm asking for following Hawkeye, right? And I think probably her best run story in the comics is the one where she does exactly what she just did to Kingpin at the end of Hawkeye, right?
Right.
And so that, I mean, as long as, and that's what I'm saying is, man, I don't care what you do, what characters you do, if they're deaf or mute or blind or black or what, anything.
Just make it good.
Just make it good.
Yep.
And that's what I'm saying is I think that them pushing it back, with on the trails of talks of because it was internal something, that internal dislike or internal whatever that they were saying with the turnout of Phase 4,
right? Yeah,
and stuff like that. So, I mean, honestly, I think this is probably good news, right? Because we don't want a Hawkeye.
Yeah, but I think
2.0.
again, I think that good news could lead to us not ever even really seeing this come to fruition. But guys, you guys are seeing this. You guys are checking this out. A whole year delay on the Echo series for Marvel. What are your guys' thoughts? Definitely let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below.